Hello, it's Electra and welcome back to my channel. It's the start of October and you all know what that means. Halloween! I'm going to be doing quite a few different transformation videos all the way through October, so stay tuned and subscribe now so you don't miss any of them. As usual, to a freshly shaven face, I'm going in with toner and a moisturiser. Before we get to doing the makeup, this would be where you could cover your eyebrows if you have them, but as always, I just shaved mine off. I don't have any, as you can see. If you want to find out how to cover your eyebrows, there is plenty of videos floating about all over YouTube. I'm then going in with just random eyeliner. This can be any colour, it doesn't really matter, and I'm using that to map out the areas where I'm going to be applying the latex that's going to make the holes and like the ripped up face for the zombie. Now we're going in to start building up a second layer of skin. I'm using toilet paper and liquid latex for this, and this is what's going to be used to form the flappy bits of skin that are around the wounds. I'm going over those exact lines we drew in a moment ago with the liquid latex, and then I'm separating each piece of toilet paper up into one ply and I'm pushing that into the latex while it's still wet. You want to do this all the way around the lines you drew in a moment ago. The placement of these lines is entirely up to you and you can design this out however you want. But you just want to make sure any lines that you did apply to the face, you go over them with the latex and the tissue paper to form the flappy bits of skin. After you've gone all the way around with the liquid latex and the tissue, you want to go over the tissue again with another layer of latex. Also make sure with this second layer of latex to go a little bit wider to blend the tissue into the skin. Once you've gone over the top of that first tissue layer with a second layer of latex, you want to then go in with a second layer of tissue paper just to fill up the areas and to make the skin look even thicker. When I'm doing this second layer, I make sure that I fold the tissue paper so it's thicker on the outside and thinner as it gets to the centre portions of the wounds. This folding will just make it look even more realistic like ripped skin when we come to peeling it back later on. You want to do this over any of the desired areas that you drew in and make sure that you cover all tissue with another layer of latex on top. You want to finish with a layer of latex as this will just help to blend the tissue into the skin. And it's easier to apply makeup over a layer of latex than it is a layer of tissue. I did this as a look for Halloween last year, and with my design I kind of did a ripped eye and like a bullet wound on the forehead and then kind of like a ripped Chelsea smile kind of bit down the side of the cheek. But with this you can do the lines anywhere that you want and just customise this zombie to however you'd like it to look. Just use this method on any lines that you draw, as I say, and it will come out perfect. Once you've got all your layers of latex and tissue paper down, you want to make sure that it's completely dry before you apply any makeup over the top of it. You can speed up this process by using a hairdryer, as you can see I'm using that here. Now that the latex is fully dry, I'm going over the top of it with a liquid foundation so that the white colour of the latex blends into the skin. For this, the liquid foundation that I'm using is Bourjois Healthy Mix, which is kind of ironic because we're not going to be looking healthy at the end of this tutorial. I'm taking that foundation all over the latex areas and around my face and down my neck. After we've got that applied all over the face, it's time to bump up the coverage over those latex areas a little bit more, just because we want to blend them perfectly into the skin. And for this I'm using my favourite, which is Max Factor Pan Stick Foundation. I'm using this in 2 different shades, in the shade number 12 and the shade 96. I'm taking that pan stick foundation over my lips as well, just to mute them out so that they blend into the skin. Now that we have all of the base down, we've blended out those white areas of latex into the natural skin colour. It's time to go in with some tweezers and start to peel it back to reveal those flappy bits of skin around their wounds. You want to go around the inside of those latex areas that we marked out, and you want to slowly peel back with the tweezers to reveal the skin underneath and create kind of like a flappy edge. You want to do this very precisely and carefully, making sure not to pull too hard, as you could pull the whole piece of latex off of your face. You just want to pull off the inside area, revealing the skin underneath, as I say, and this just gives that flappiness around the wound. Once you've got the inside area up, you can go in with a pair of scissors and start to cut into the latex, making it look even more ripped and rugged. I would suggest using a smaller pair of scissors when you're doing this, but I do deal with scissors every day being a hairdresser, and these are quite blunt, so don't worry about these ones. I know this looks a little bit harmful and dangerous, but you can use smaller ones. Just please be careful when you do this, as you don't want to cut your face, because you will look like the end result of this in real life, and that's not fun for no one. Just keep cutting away at the latex areas. There is no real pattern to this. You want to make this all haphazard and all over the place, and the more you cut in, the better it will look, and it just gives that effect of natural ripped skin. For the bullet wound, I'm now forming at the top of my head. You want to do this a little bit differently. You want to cut into the centre of this wound, and you want to fray it out from the middle. This will make it look like the skin has been forced out by something pushing through it from the middle. With this little area, I did go in a little bit too rough, and the edges of it started to peel away. But if that does happen to you, it's pretty easy to rectify the problem. Just take a little bit more of the liquid latex, pull the little flap that's coming away forward, and stick some latex behind it and push it back down onto the skin. Now I've got all of the ripped areas pretty much how I want them. They can be customised a little bit more later on down the line, but now I'm going in with some red cream face paint, and I'm applying that all inside the areas that we just ripped out. This is going to be the area which is going to be like the raw, open skin. So I'm applying that all around the inside proportions of the eye area, into the inside of the bullet hole, and down the inside of the little gash on the side of the cheek. I'm then also making sure to apply that red same cream colour on the inside areas of the liquid latex. Once all of those areas that should look like raw open skin are painted red, I'm then going in with some dark red lipstick, and I'm just going in with that on a lip brush, and I'm applying that into those same areas to give a little bit more detail, just a little bit more darker red in certain places to make it look like raw wounds. From here on out, it's all about just going in and keep adding even more details to everything, kind of like more bloody areas and darkening areas up. Just keep adding more and more details. taking the same brush I used to apply the red face paint, and I'm using whatever product is left over on the brush to apply that inside the nostrils, just to give the effect like I've been infected. I'm also just adding little dots of liquid latex over certain parts of the skin to add more texture. As we don't want the skin to look perfect and pretty in this, we want it to look grimy and dirty. Now I'm going in with a black cream face paint, and I'm applying that underneath my eyes and around the top to kind of falsify a socket, kind of like a dark hollow where the eye socket would be. I'm also applying that same black cream around the inside edges of the latex, just to give even more depth to the wound. Just keep adding the red and black as you go to up the detail and make it look really realistic. Here I'm just taking a dark brown eyeshadow and using that to go under the eye to kind of give like an eye bag, and around the areas that have kind of been ripped out to give like a bruising effect. I'm also taking that same brown eyeshadow around the hairline to mimic the effect of like dirty, greasy, horrible hair. I prepped my hair prior to starting this video with some argan oil just to make sure it was really slick and oily, because as you see here in a second, it just makes it look like I've not washed for weeks and I've got like a dishevelled look to myself from a dead zombie, because no zombie going to be washing. Time to feel the fantasy as the living dead, as you can see. And now it's time for the crowning glory, fake blood. If you are any part homophobic, I'd suggest going and looking at some cat videos on YouTube and stop watching them right now, because this is where it starts getting gory. I'm going in with some dark stage blood by Mehron, and I'm applying that all over kind of like splattered areas onto the inside of the wound and letting it drip out of the bullet hole. Mama was seriously feeling the fantasy by this point, but when it's right, it's right. Finally, to finish everything off, I'm going in with a lighter fake blood, and I'm just applying this over everything inside of those wounds. This is kind of like a final seal kind of thing, and it just gives like a nice sheen to the wound, because the fact of it's like going to be wet and fresh. Kind of the fact that you've just been smashed in the head and this has just happened. This part is totally optional, but I decided to take some of that red and draw some veins down my chest. These are just drew in any manner all over the place, kind of just swished them out like I've been really infected for a long time, and that all of my veins are inflamed and shown through my skin. The last thing I did just to bring the whole look all together was change out the contact lens in the ripped eye area, and I used a white contact lens with kind of like blood splatters all around it. The white lenses were from youknowit.com and the red lenses were from Lens Village. The links for these will be in the description below. This is one of the moments where it proves to people that I can still do things even with my long fingernails. I just have to be very careful. And that completes my first Halloween tutorial. I really hope you enjoyed this video, as I know I enjoyed making it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. As always, with all of my transformation videos, there will be a full list of all the products I used in the description below. All my social media links will be down there as well, so come along and follow me over there. Please don't forget to subscribe and check out my other videos, and until next time, bye bye.
Swallow my tits.